Hello everyone, GrimReaper here, and today we're going to be talking about Assassin's Creed Unity and what it was like going for the Platinum Trophy and the DLC trophies. So this is my 8th Platinum Trophy in the Assassin's Creed franchise and 8 Platinums into this challenge I'm doing. So we'll talk about 4 key points as always: story, soundtrack, gameplay, and trophies. So let's start with the story. I didn't find myself too engaged with the story. It's probably one of my least favourites so far. The only thing I found interesting was the dynamic between Elise and Arno. Elise being a Templar, Arno being an assassin, and how they fell in love and stuff. But yeah, other than that, and towards the ending and a bit of the DLC, I wasn't that keen on the story. It just didn't grip me. I just didn't find it all too interesting, and there's not a whole lot to say about it, to be honest. Now onto the soundtrack. Again, kind of the same thing. There's not a lot to say about the soundtrack. I didn't find it that memorable. I could honestly only remember one track from the whole game, and that's like the rendition of Ezio's Family they do. But yeah, again, so soundtrack wasn't can't really remember much of it. It wasn't that memorable. Now onto the gameplay. This is a controversial one, but I was excited for this game. I may have mentioned it in a stream or video a couple of times that I was really intrigued on this one because I've heard so many mixed things, and that's how I feel about the gameplay. I was so mixed on it. Like, there are times where I was loving it, and there was times where I was hating it. And a lot of it comes down to the bugginess and whether the systems in the game decide they want to work. A lot of the time, they don't want to work, and it's super frustrating. So we'll talk about a few things from the gameplay. So let's start off with the big one that everyone bigs up in this game, is the parkour. Now, I'm quite mixed on the parkour. I loved the new features like controlled descent, honestly such a game changer, and surprised it took that long to be implemented. But I adore the controlled descent, and I love the flashiness of the parkour, and it can feel fluid when it works, but a lot of the time it just doesn't want to work properly. It feels a lot more jankier than the old games, to be honest, and I think that's partly because of the streamlining they've done with it. So they've pretty much made parkour, they stripped it down to one button. So just hold R2 and they'll pretty much do everything. Now because of that, you're going to be climbing shit you don't want to climb, and it can be quite an issue. But yeah, when it works though, it is fun, but I think I personally prefer the freedom the old games have with the parkour, the old games being AC1 to Revelations. But I also noticed that I tried to do that they took away some things like side ejects. They're still in the game, but you can't freely do them, from what I've noticed. It's very contextual, and it can make it a bit more frustrating. But yeah, so overall I was quite mixed on the parkour. Now the stealth, again I was mixed with the parkour, and I'm going to say this a lot when it comes to this game. I'm going to say it's good when it works. So the stealth was fun when it works, and I like some of the new things, right? Like the phantom blades and stuff like that. They were quite fun to use, but there were also times where the stealth would just be super frustrating. Like, I'd get detected pretty much instantly when I shouldn't be, and a part of that is also because of, like, so you can take cover in the game. You can cover behind items or you know, cover behind doors and stuff. I felt like that barely worked. Like, I'd try and do it in a bit of a heated situation, and he would just refuse, or he would take cover in front of the door, leading you to get detected, and it was super annoying. There was also so there's also the combat. The combat, again, I was mixed on. When I did the first level, the first prologue mission, I enjoyed it because I thought, okay, well, this is a lot tougher, so it incentivized stealth, and I liked that. But it also gets really janky and really weird the more you play it. It's like trying to hold down, so you can get a move where you hold down the attack button and it'll do a heavy attack. That was really iffy for most of the time I used it. Like it wasn't always consistent, and you'd have to like kind of wait a second or two before you could do it. It was really weird and jank. But yeah, so overall I wasn't a big fan of that. But again, when it worked, it was decent. So yeah, then there's the open world. I really enjoyed exploring Revolutionary Paris. I thought it was an interesting setting, and the world looks beautiful. I mean, the whole game looks beautiful. It's such a really good looking game, considering it came out like in 2014 when the PS4 first came out, just like a year after that. It like graphically it holds up really well and stuff. But yeah, overall in the gameplay, I was quite mixed. The whole game was just one big emotional roller coaster, basically. Now onto the trophies. Oh boy. So, as for the trophies, just like Black Flag, this has multiplayer trophies. Now, the multiplayer on here is quite different. It's all co-op, and it's basically just a set of missions you do with your friends, and you can you can do them solo as well if you want, but they're kind of buggy. I find trying to actually get the multiplayer to work was a hassle, and annoyingly, the trophies. There's a trophy for unlocking all skills, and to get the last skill points you need, you have to get these collectible skill points in the co-op missions. So basically, you have to do them all, and it's just There's also heists as well you have to do. It's just a pain, the multiplayer trophies on here. But other than that, there was again, as always, kind of full sync trophies, so you get optional objectives of the main missions, and that was a pain. Some of them were annoying. Mostly the do not get into conflict ones. They were the toughest, I would say. But yeah, most of them weren't too bad though. Just a handful of them I would say were annoying. Then there's also get every chest in Paris. This trophy is just awful. There's like over 200 chests. It's so stupid. It takes such a long time, and it's mind-numbingly boring. But yeah, again, there's also collect all the cockades. There's like, I think there's over 100 of them. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, there's quite a bit of them too. So if you're going for the platinum on this game, be warned, there's a hell of a lot of collectibles. There was also stuff like complete these riddles to get this armor. They're quite annoying. They're quite vague. I would honestly just look up the guide for them and where they are. There's so many of them though. There's 18 sets of riddles, so that's going to take you a while. And then there's complete all Helix Rift missions. They're honestly not that bad. They're pretty easy, pretty quick. I think there's about 10 of them to do, or 8 of them. Then there's also another trophy tied to them where you got to free 10 assassins in them. Again, that's not that bad. It's pretty easy. And then there's just stuff like fully renovate the cafe. Yeah. But overall, the trophies were a lot easier than I thought they would be. And only some were a pain. The multiplayer was a pain. The game was a pain. But yeah. So I'll play some clips of me popping the trophies and the platinum now. Wait, maybe it'll let me. It doesn't matter. Well, if they're not going to attack me while I'm doing this, there you go. Yeah, I'll just lay down. Shit, to be honest, I think I'm bugged though.
Okay, next time maybe they should put Mirabel's relics someplace a little safer.
Oh, there we go. Trophy. The Baguette Boy Band. Jesus Christ. That's how it is. Oh, guillotined. I got a trophy. Oh, it's loot! Oh no! Oh no!
On today's menu.
Yay, I got it! Jesus Christ. Finally. Yeah. I'll get it if you want. I know where the last one is, so I'll go there. It's mine, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine. Well, no, he's not, but... Oh wait, this isn't the guy. Never mind. I got a trophy, I got a trophy there. Someone from the sky. And another one, Blade in the crowd. Fuck me, that's 2 trophies. Oh. Hey, there we go, room review. 30% trophies now.
Stick him from the side.
What the fuck are we saying? What the fuck? Oh, I got the trophy. Yeah, I think it's lagging for me. No I am, yeah. Hey, choreography! That is so funny that we both...
And that's the last cannon. AmeriCorps leads this march all the way to Versailles. Nice work.
Hey, got the trophy. Shit, I don't know. We didn't really need it anyway. Hey, visited once, and then we'll never visit ever again.
Quelle chance j'ai aujourd'hui de pouvoir acheter un bol de soupe. Ne nous en...
That technique should serve you well.
You performed a great service for the Brotherhood, but others still need your help. Sending the data to the lab now. It's free. Well done. A job well done. Our agents are never safe in the Helix, though, so help them when you can. He's there. You have to save him. The agent's been covered. Sending the data to the lab now.
Guess who's just got the armor? Armor of Thomas D. Gunn. Thomas D. Gunn from the
I
past.
think it's been here for almost 500 years.
The trophy. That's tragic. There we go. Oh man, I did that one. Hey, gentlemen! Waiting to pop it at the same time. We can't now, can we? Yay, I got it. I got skills. God damn right I do. Hey, Tricolor? What the hell? I don't know how to pronounce that, but we got it. Oh. That should be. Voila! Curiosity and. So now onto my overall thoughts of the game. Overall, I was quite mixed on it. I loved some parts, and I hated some parts. I hated how extremely buggy the game still is at times. I had so many glitches where I had to restart sequences and stuff because I would be glitched, like falling through the air endlessly, sort of thing. But yeah, but there were some parts I liked. It didn't quite meet my expectations. I think I set my expectations too high for this game. But that's not to say that I disliked it, because I still enjoyed it, but just not as much as I hoped I would. Yeah. But I also want to give a big shout out to brother, the privateer, who helped me out massively with the co-op missions. You can check him out on Twitch and Kick. He was a massive help for me on this game. If it wasn't for him, I probably would have never done it, to be honest, because those co-op missions are awful to do on your own. But yeah, so thank you to my brother, the privateer, and yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.